Hey guys, I feel like it's been a long time since I did a solo episode, so I have my laptop out, notes here, and I'm ready to tackle everything today. Everything that I have been writing down for the last couple of weeks that I wanted to discuss. So, my makeup came out shit today. My skin is not skinning, so I'm wearing glasses. Sue me. I know I'm inside and it's random, but I was like, thank God I have these in my bag, or else I don't know what I would have done. And thank God they match my outfit, or else that would have been another dilemma. Before the episode starts, I just want to obviously address the elephant in the room that there's certain Mondays that I haven't filmed. I've always been super consistent with my episodes, and over the past couple months, there's just been Mondays that I haven't filmed. And to get into that a little bit, you guys obviously know I've been dealing with my skin issue, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. It has been super good some weeks, really bad other weeks, and it's just been a roller coaster that's kind of been playing with my emotions. And when it's really bad, the thought about filming and actually being creative and, interviewing or coming out with content is just not there for me. I told myself that I would actually be easier on myself because I am going through such a hard time with the skin issue, and that is my number one main focus. And there's just been weeks where I didn't have it in me to either get a guest, to film because I wasn't inspired, because I was depressed with what was going on with me, that I just allowed myself to be like, okay, well, if I can't film this week, I'm just going to be gone and I'm not going to film. And it's such a double-edged sword because, I choose not to film, then I'm guilty and I feel bad, but then I'm, enjoying and loving the feeling of just, being able to relax and not pressure myself and make myself more stressed so that my skin goes out of control. So it's really been, a super, super hectic, draining, depressing, motivating in a way journey. I've also done an episode on fasting, and that helped my skin, but then I went back to having bad skin. It's just been I feel like a broken record when I talk about my skin, because at the end of the day, the steroid just needs to come out of my body, and I cannot wait one more day for it to come out. And even now, I'm wearing sunglasses because it's just bad today, and I'm just over it, and I don't want to start crying, but I have really bad days, and I'm just I learned what I had to learn from this. I'm never going to use a steroid cream again, but I can't take it anymore. I decided to go fully natural now, so that's been a journey on its own. I've changed my whole diet. I lost so much weight. I'm not happy with my weight loss. There's just a lot of things, and I'm trying to find the good now, and I'm trying to come back stronger. And guys, I'm just being completely honest with you. When it's bad, I just don't feel like filming, and hopefully I'm going to be fully done with this soon. But for right now, there's no answers. I don't have a date, which is really exhausting. I also have a boyfriend now, which is even more stressful because you want to look hot for your partner, and you just don't know what tomorrow holds. That's a whole other conversation that we can get into, but plays with my insecurities, plays with my relationship. It's just all over the board a mess, and I'm really trying to find the good, but I've been having bad days. And so if you're wondering why I've been gone, that is why. And I just don't even know what to say. Oh, my skin again? I'm having another bad skin flare. I'm over it. So I just go MIA when my skin's bad, and I don't film. And I'm not happy about it, especially as someone who's been super consistent with this podcast and wants to take it to the next level and has so many plans. I feel it's my mind wants to do things, but then everything I'm dealing with, because the skin issue is not just, exterior, it's also mental. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, when you want to do so much, but you're dealing with so much that you feel like you're behind, and you're stressing yourself out because you're I got to do this, but your mind can't actually do what you want to do because you're not fully healthy right now. So, that's exactly why I've been gone. I just want to address it and not just ignore it. So, that's that. Last week's episode was a vlog episode of what I got my boyfriend for his 30th birthday. And I wanted to give you guys the update on that now that I gave him the gift. And yeah, so I had given him the gift through my girlfriend who was in Miami. Ideally, I wanted Tanya to pick it up, bring it to him so he didn't have to like drive for his gift and it would just show up. But things don't always happen the way we wanted to. So he ended up picking up the gift from my friend Celia, who was in Miami, and he opened it with me on FaceTime and he absolutely loved it. He was like, wow, babe, like this is such a nice gift. Thank you so much. So he put on the necklace and he was like, I love everything about it. The only thing is it's a bit long. So maybe if I can just get it like shortened a little. And I was like, fuck, I got him the 22 size when there was also the 20. I just figured the 20 was too choker like, but he likes his necklaces a little bit shorter. So what do you know? I'm sending it back with my friend who's coming back from Miami. And so we're going to switch it. And that's the update with that. So you guys all know I spent the last 5 months in Miami, and ever since I got back, I've been a little bit lost. Also because I've been dealing with my skin issue, but I've been lost because it's weird when you spend so much time with someone and then you just go like back to where you were. It's almost like a mind fuck. You're like, wait, we just went from like dating, practically married, like living together, to like seeing each other every day, being together, cooking for him, like just like being together all the time, to like getting that like removed, like having your full independence again and doing exactly what you were doing before you met someone. It almost feels like I like got in a relationship and then got out of a relationship. It was like a little bit of a mind fuck. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, like long distance is hard. I was really excited to come back because I was dealing with my skin issue and I just felt like I had a couple months left and I was like, I don't want to do this with him. I know, like, yes, he'll love me through it all, and like sometimes you just like want to be ugly, be alone. Like I don't want to feel like I have to like shower while my skin is burning and like try and still look good for someone. Like I was ready to just be in my zone, be ugly, be in sweats, creamed up, and deal with like my skin without just being around someone. So at the beginning I like liked it, and then like I would say like 2 weeks in, like after, I'm like, fuck, like I miss him, obviously, like this is hard now. And yeah, so we've been long distance now for like almost a month, and we have a little bit over a month ago. It's such a weird feeling where I'm like, I'm so happy to be back. Like my mom's taking care of me. And then there's another part of me that's like, well, I miss him. Yeah, so in my last episode, I spoke about it briefly, but I essentially sent in all my papers for my visa, and now I'm waiting. It should take a month and a half, 2 months. I probably have like, I would say like a month left to wait. And until then, I don't want to leave town. So the only way I can really see my boyfriend is if he comes to me. He comes to Montreal, which he's never been, and he really wants to come. And he's so busy with work right now that it's really not a priority for him. And at the same time, I'm like, I'm dealing with my skin issue. Like the time apart is good. Like I'm happy we're apart, but it gets annoying sometimes. And I feel like our entire relationship was built on like being together right away. So now it's like, I feel like we're like out of honeymoon stage, and like when fights start to happen, and like also everything gets amplified when you're long distance, right? Because like things get lost in the sauce, or like miscommunication can happen so easily. And I feel like we've definitely, being real, like we've definitely been going, like we've had a couple of fights, and it's definitely normal, but like now we're like setting boundaries, if you know what I mean. Where like before it was like there was no boundaries to set because we were always together. So that was also interesting, like having to be like, well, that hurts me when you do that, and it's like, why is that coming out now, you know? But I guess as time goes on, you learn someone more, and whether it's long distance or not, you get into it. But yeah, I feel like definitely it's hard. It's hard because certain days, like I'd be like, I miss him so much and like I want so much attention, but he's like working like a dog and can't give it to me. And then other days I'm like, so good, so happy. I'm like, leave me alone. I'll see you in a month. Like it's such a mind fuck, long distance. So, you know, as a Canadian moving to Miami, where most of my friends live in Canada, and now dating my boyfriend, I feel like when I'm gonna go back, I'm going to have to like put myself out there and really make friends, because I think what happens is when you rely so much on just your partner to give you everything, I feel like that's when like fights happen, because at the end of the day, like my boyfriend's never going to be able to give me what like girlfriends could give me and vice versa. And so when I'm expecting sometimes so much out of my partner who's busy doing his own thing, has his own life also, it's a lot to ask out of someone. And I see that. I'm aware of that. And so I think this new year, I think like me moving to Miami is going to have to like make me put myself out there because I need friends, okay? Like for me, like if I'm going through a hard time, like yes, it's amazing to have a partner, but like I love having friends. Like for me, it's like an escape. It keeps my mind off things. We can gossip. Like I get the things I don't get out of a partner. And so I feel like it's going to be interesting because I have, as much as I do have like Tanya there's a lot of friends that are still back home, and like I will go on walks every day and like call my friends, and then it's like bye. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things. Okay, I changed my diet. I'm not drinking. I'm barely going to restaurants because of all the food that's in there that can react to my skin. So there's that. Plus my friends are in Canada. So like, I feel like these last 6 months, I've literally been depressed. Like I haven't been out. I haven't been drinking. I haven't been like really living my life fully, and I'm fed up and I want to now, and I'm tired of the skin problem and I just want to go back to normal. And I know I'm going to have to make friends when I go to Miami because most of my friends are in there. So there's going to be a lot of new things this year. Plus my business is going to be taken into Miami. So putting myself out there, getting guests on, changing my content, doing more. These are all I have so many plans, and like my skin, I feel like is holding me back. Oh my God, I'm all over the place today. My boyfriend's in Florida and he's in private equity and he's trying to close a deal right now. So for him to actually take time and come to Montreal, it's just not doable right now. And I'm not really rushing for him to come because I'm in my healing stage. I'm not really doing anything. I'm focused on like eating healthy and all that stuff. But where was I getting at? But one thing I'll say, and like, this is just like being in a relationship, and like, even if you have friends that are in relationships or not, you know, I'm someone who always likes to ask my friends for opinions on like my relationship. Like I'll be like, oh, like this happened. Like, what do you think? And sometimes I'm kind of learning that sometimes it's like better to just like solve your problems with your person than like bringing in friends and involving people who might actually after look at your partner differently or look at the relationship differently. And you know, sometimes you just have to like deal with it within yourselves. And I just love to like get my friends' opinions, and like my friends' opinions mean so much. And like, even for example, like Mitko, you know, he was like, well, you know, like, I mean, your boyfriend should make an effort and come see you in these 2 months. And it's like his boyfriend is doing that, like coming back and forth. He's seeing him really often, and like they don't go more than like a week or 2 days apart. And I get from his perspective and like where his boyfriend is at career wise and like where they are at in their relationship, like that's the dynamic they have. But sometimes someone's going to give you advice when the situation is just a little bit different for you, which is why sometimes I think every relationship is different and unique, and it's not always going to follow the same rules and like standards as someone else's. And it doesn't mean my boyfriend loves me less because he's not coming, which means he's not showing effort. But it's like also understanding like where you are in your relationship with your person. Like I know my boyfriend's main purpose in life, I know his main goal in life is his purpose, his work. I'm like straight up second, and I understand that. I never want to be first. I want a guy who's successful. I want a guy who has all the things. And for that, he needs to follow his purpose first. He can't be like putting me before his purpose, okay? So like me understanding that I come second is understanding that like he is so busy with work right now and he just can't come. Yes, maybe he can like make it a point on the weekend for like a day, but he's even working weekends now that I'm like, close your deal and then come to Montreal. Like, don't like force yourself. Let's not try and make this happen because we're going too long without seeing each other just because like my friends will be like, well, that's weird that he like can't make it a priority to come. So it's really been like having to like really be kind of strong on like what your relationship is, and you have to understand it and where it is, and it doesn't have to make sense to everyone. And I love Mitko, and I love that his opinion is like, but he should make an effort, and I get that, I hear him, and it's like, but his boyfriend is also way more established than mine is, and he's at a point where he has a lot more freedom where my boyfriend doesn't. So I can't be expecting the same thing that he's expecting when he's meeting him a little bit later in life. So I think everything is situational. And as you're dating, as you're, kind of getting to know people, just understand that like everybody is different, and like don't take everything so literal what your friends say. And I'm not saying don't get advice from them, because I personally really appreciate and respect advice from my friends, especially when I know that they understand me and they know me well. But take everything with a grain of salt, and just remember that like it's your kingdom. If you're in a relationship, like that is your story with him, and like it's not always going to be like everyone else's. And I feel like I had to learn that, I was like, babe, I really want to go to Europe this summer. And he's like, I don't know, depending on my deal close. Like, and I was like, well, I kind of do Europe every year. And it's like, there's certain sacrifices you got to do when like you start dating someone and priorities are different and we're moving. And anyway, so I think now I'm trying to just like lower my expectations on everything and expect the least, get the most kind of thing. But yeah, like Mirko was like, well, he can't come on the weekends, like even for 2 days. And I'm like, he's like working on the weekends too. And like, it's like getting up, going on a flight, coming here, spending a day and a half to still be on his phone, working, to not fully give me his time. Like at that point, like focus on your purpose, and like we're gonna make it work once you close the deal next month. If I was dating a guy who was like 40 years old, established, yeah, my expectations, if he was more established, would be way different than what they are with a guy I'm growing with and who's not exactly where he wants to be. You have to understand that like online, everything was always gonna show you like, oh, like the final result. But it's like, if you want to be like with someone young, good looking, and just like grow with someone, it's going to be a little bit different of a path, especially when you're in a relationship, but like you're both not where you want to be. It's almost like amazing because you're like ambitious, you're motivated, but you also have to be super understanding of your partner. And I think likewise, even for him, like because he's so busy, he like inspires me to like really focus on myself, focus on, everything I want to do. Although for me, it's a little bit different, and I'm a little bit more insecure because I have like my skin issue I'm dealing with. And so sometimes I'm a little bit more needy. And that's actually one of our fights we had, while I've been here. It was like, babe, like I'm not hearing from you that much. And like, I understand also we're moving. That's a whole other story. Okay. So I was in Miami. I rented a spot for 2 months. And then in that 2 months, I rented a spot with Tanya. I spent most of the time with my boyfriend, who at the time had a 1-bedroom. Then he was like, okay, it's clearly too small. Let me get us a 2-bedroom. So we moved in the same building to a 2-bedroom. And then from the 2-bedroom, we really like found it to be noisy and we didn't like it. And now my boyfriend's like, I think I want to break the lease and go somewhere else. Let's go apartment shopping. So we go apartment shopping, see the apartment of our dreams that we're just like, this is the most beautiful apartment. Like now we have no choice but to get out of this 2-bedroom to go into another 2-bedroom that's just like water view, just absolutely stunning, and like just like a dream first place to live with your person. So I happened to go to Montreal the day before. He had to move all our things to the new spot. So like I left, and then he did the move to the new apartment, which was not in the same building, the day after. And like we visited the spot, we chose it together. And like that was another thing I was like really sad about, is like now we're moving to this sick unit, and now I'm gone and away from him for 2 months, and he's doing the move by himself. He's gonna make friends by the pool. He's gonna be like by the pool, like he's not working like a dog. But like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, it sucks that like we're moving into a place that's like finally gonna feel like both of our, it's like moving into a place with your person, and then like you're gone for 2 months and you have the FOMO of like, well, he's doing the move alone, and like he's really like experiencing the new cafe across the street and like finding all that gems. And it's like, yeah, I get there and like he did all of that work already, but like that's another part that was just like really sad, because I'm like, well, I don't get to experience that first like moving into a new apartment with someone. And there's just a lot of things I had to like train my brain to be like, it's okay, Alessia, like the time will pass, you will be back in Miami, and not get like kind of sad about it. And in my head, it's like my brain is everywhere. It's like, fix your skin, go back, you're able to chill, relax, you don't have to be sexy, and like you could just like focus on yourself. And then it's like, well, I want to be with my boyfriend, and like, well, he's like at this new sick apartment, and like that's for us, and like I can't even be there, and I miss him. So there's like so much been going on in my mind, and now I finally feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, we have a month left. I'm finally like feel situated, because I feel like when you're like always traveling and going back and forth, you never really feel like where's home, you know? So I'm excited to finally like officially like drop my shit there and be like, okay, I'm here now. And I feel like also visa paperwork going back and forth, the lawyer needs more things. And it's like the time of when I was supposed to submit it and when it actually got submitted just delayed the time I'm going to be in Miami. So there's just a lot of things that would annoy me. And then it like, because I'm sad about it, I'd be, you know, bring it on to my partner, which is like something I'm working on. But yeah. Another thing I learned about being in a relationship is like, you should always address when you feel a certain way. But after you've addressed it, I feel like women are like this, and especially I'm like this. Even though I like spoke something out with my partner, it doesn't mean I'm like over it and ready to forgive them. Like I'm still thinking about it. Like I might wake up one morning and like hate you again all over. I might wake up even though we apologize and we're all good the next day and like hate you again for it, you know, because like I'm thinking about it again. And what I learned is that it's okay to have those reoccurring thoughts and like wake up and hate him for a split second, or like just like think about it and be like, But I think it's also important to really like think about it and do the work within yourself, because you don't want to sound like a broken record who's always bringing something up again. And sometimes it's like things you need to work on within yourself. And not that it's like annoying to them that they have to hear it again, because it is. But like not every conversation with your boyfriend needs to be repeated and discussed over and over. And it's okay to actually like take the time to do the work within yourself and like ask yourself, like, why do I feel this way? Like, you know, and really like think about it before you actually like choose to continuously bring something up that bothered you. I think like doing the work and really like trying to understand like where the root of it comes from and like why you feel that way, and like how would you address it if you did bring it up to him? Would you feel better about it? Would you get another answer that you don't feel like you got? So I think a lot of times like you got to do the work when like you're pissed about something. And long distance, let me tell you, has really, really tested my patience. So I've actually been through a friend breakup recently, and I thought about whether or not I would speak about it. And I just figured I can't be the only one going through a friendship breakup. And I feel like they're in a lot of ways sometimes harder than actual like breakups. And I wanted to talk about it because I feel like someone else may relate to this. And also, I feel like we tell ourselves, especially when it's a friendship we've had for a really long time, well, like, that is who they are. And, like, I've been friends with them forever. So, like, it's just, it is what it is. And I don't think that that's how it should be. Just because a friend has been around forever, it doesn't mean they deserve to stay in your life. And I've always thought that. Like, we've been friends forever. Like, she is who she is. She's not going to change. I've learned to accept her. And, like, she's just going to be who she is, and I'm just going to accept it because I've accepted it for so long. And I feel like the older you get, the more you realize that, like, not every friend is meant to go where you're headed, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that to be friends, you need to be on the same path, but you need to still, in some way, have some kind of respect for each other. And I feel like the respect was kind of gone. And you know what's crazy, actually? Okay. It's that I knew that this person was talking shit about me for years, okay? But, you know, friends in the same circle, we'd go out together. I always said to myself, like, well, it's fine. Like, you know how you can, like, have certain friends and, like, not, this is going to sound weird, but, like, you know what your role is with your friend. Like, you know that, like, you know, if she has a big mouth or, like, that, you'll just be like, well, I like her and I like these characteristics and qualities about her, but she has a big mouth, so I'm not going to tell her, you know, certain things. So you go, okay, still keep her around. Like, I still love X amount of things about her, but these things I'm just gonna like brush under the rug and it's okay. And I think the older you get, the more you realize that like it's okay to drop a friend that you've had for a long time because it no longer serves you. And I feel like it's actually so powerful because what it does is like all these years I've been feeling this way and I never did anything about it, never said it. I'm like, oh, that's just who she is. She's always been that and I've learned to accept her. But doesn't mean because that's who she's been and that's who she's always going to be that she still has a place in my life. And I feel like it took a long time for me to like accept and come to terms with like, and it's okay that our story ends and it's okay that we're no longer friends. And I feel like a lot of times like it's like the hard thing to do and like, but it's also like, are you being truthful and real with yourself? Because there are so many things over the years that I have felt that I just ignored. And I feel like when you finally make a decision to be like, well, this person is no longer serving me and I don't want them in my life anymore. I don't want this energy. I'm almost turning 30. Like, I want really like just quality, the best friends and like people who want the best for me. Like, for example, I knew that she would talk so much shit about me. I knew this, yet I would still stay friends with her and like just be like, because I'm the type of person like whatever, she could say what she wants and then I'll chalk it up to like, well, you know, she didn't have the best childhood or, you know, she comes from a family where like that's what they do. So like I learned to like always find the good in why people do what they do to like not feel, I guess, to not take everything so literal and personal. Like, oh, she talks shit and oh, she's like that and oh, she plays victim all the time. But like she had a really bad upbringing or like, you know, I kind of be like, well, you know, that's just how she was raised. So like I can't get mad at her that she's like talking shit about me or she's like treating me like that because I've like already categorized her as like, I always want to see the best in someone and therefore like I just categorized her in there and like instead of actually being like, well, hold on a second, Alessia, like you don't need to accept certain things just because you like other qualities. Like, yes, depending on what it is, maybe, you know, you could be okay with not having it. But sometimes you really got to think like, I don't really care that, you know, you had a bad child. I mean, I do, and I've been there for you. But at the same time, like at some point in your life, you got to take accountability and you can't play victim anymore. And it's like, that's hurting me. I'm like tossing it to the side, ignoring it for all these years. And it's like, this is the year where I actually decided that like, but why would I have this in my life if it's not bringing me, like all relationships at the end of the day are transactional. And it's like transactional and like, you know, happiness, love. It's not just like, it's not money wise. It's just every friend that's in your life, it's a transaction. They bring the good in you. They make you happy. You guys are always giving each other something. And that's why you guys are friends. And with her, it just felt like there was nothing left anymore. It just felt like it was always about her. I didn't feel like she ever like cared about me, if that makes sense. Like, anyway, it's crazy when you're like always there for someone, but then you never feel that reciprocated and like someone will always do what's best for them. And that's fine. In a lot of ways, you got to be selfish. You got to put on your own life jacket to be able to like help someone else swim. But there comes a time where you're like, actually, like, no, you're a shit friend. I'm the type of person who will die for my friends and do everything for them and like never expect anything in return. Normally, how I would like let go of a friendship is not how I would handle it today, but it's like I would just kind of ghost them or be like, whatever, they are who they are. And like, I just like don't want to associate myself with them, but never like, you know, cutting it off and like having closure. And with this friend in particular, I was like, I'm going to send her a message and kind of tell her like why I don't see a future in this, like why I don't see the friendship continuing and just like let her know my thoughts and not just go MIA and then just, you know, sweep it under the rug and then like see her out and then like we're good. And then like we go back to being like talking. And then, you know, I was like, I'm going to actually send her a message. And I sent her a message and obviously she was messaging back, and you guys know how like arguments go. And I was like at a point where I was like, I made my peace. Like, no matter what you say, like, I've decided to actually listen to myself and listen to like how I've been feeling over the years and just end the friendship. But I thought one thing that she said was super interesting, and it actually like confirmed the reason why the friendship is ending. And she said something along the lines when she was responding to my breakup message. You know, a lot of friends have, you know, a lot of people have warned me about this friend group, and I chose to stay. And there was there was a bunch of other things, but I was just like I was so like, this is exactly why we're no longer friends. Like, you saying that like you think you're this like big person because like people have heard things or being said about me and my friend group, and like she's acting like this whole entire time we haven't been a group of friends all having each other's back, all being friends, and like it was just so belittling and just so me like guys, imagine you have a friend group, okay? You're no longer speaking with one friend from the group, and you tell her why, like you're no longer friends, and then she says, other people have warned me about this friend group. It's like so insulting. It's as if like people have spoken such like, it's like, you know, like she's basically saying like people that she knows have been talking the most crap, and like she is such a good person. She chose to like ignore what people are saying and like stay friends with me. Like she's like doing me a favor, when it's like so insulting, considering that like when you're friends with someone and you choose to be friends with someone, you're never throwing in their face the like, oh, X, Y, and Z said that about you. It's like, no, that's my ride or die friend. Like, I'm not even gonna like entertain the idea of somebody being able to talk shit about my friends, you know, and have my mind maybe being like skewed of whether or not like I should stay friends with this person. Like, to me, it's so insane that like, also, I want you to understand that this is a person who has a lot of like, she has her baggage. She has a million things that she comes in this friend group. And to be honest with you, most times it's about her and like victim mentality and having to like help her out and fix her issues. And she's no angel in this friend group. And she like writes in the message, a lot of people have warned me about this friend group. Like, I would never throw in someone's face that like someone, like people are talking bad and like I'm choosing to like still be your friend. Like it's some kind of like trophy I deserve. Like, I don't know. I just think it's like the way she views herself and the way she views us. It's like, I don't like, she's like better than us. And like, she's choosing to be friends with people who are less like you tell me how you take that. But like knowing her and knowing how she meant it and knowing who she is and what she does, I thought was the most diabolical thing I've ever heard. Like literally, like, what? Please stop. Literally, please stop. Anyway, I thought that was like super insane. And I was like, thank you for confirming exactly why we're not like, guys, picture it. You're friends with someone. You're never going to write to them and say like, oh, X said this about you. And like, you're lucky we're still friends. Almost like our friendship is like on terms. I don't know. I just think it's so crazy how like I take you in and I never judge you for any of your things. And then you're quick to like throw in my face something when it's like, what? I don't deserve to be shit talked like that just because of your upbringing, you know? And it's like I would always make excuses for why somebody would be that way instead of just being like, this person no longer aligns with me, what I want, my happiness, doesn't want the best for me. It's just like being able to be, it's being able to be like realistic with like what you expect out of friendship and like how much friendships mean at this point. And like, I don't want anyone that doesn't want the best for me, and like anyone who can talk like that about me should not be in my life, regardless of, you know, the little things that I do like about them, you know? And it's like, we've had amazing memories together. We've had so much fun, and I never want to take that away. But it doesn't mean that we need to continuously be friends. Sometimes friendships just end in seasons, and that's okay. And you know, like it was like good for what it was and where it was, and it's okay that it ended. And I feel like now I'm just a lot more intentional, like with friendships, being in a relationship now. Like I just want every person and everybody in my circle to really be like and want the best for me, and like know that like if I'm not there, you're talking good about me in a room. And I don't know what it stems from, if it stems from like jealousy. Like I was also trying to go out with her in Miami. She like made no like, she didn't want any, like she invited me to yoga, but she didn't want me to go out for dinner with her. Why? Because I go out with you and I maybe get attention and you don't. Like what? Like it just felt like jealousy. Like I don't know what it was, where it stemmed from, but it was just like super toxic. Okay, so here are some questions that you need to ask yourself about friendships that you have in your life. Okay, number one, how do you feel after you spend time with them? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel recharged? Like how do you feel? Okay, because that'll tell you right away whether or not this person is a good thing in your life. A good, like you'll know if this person brings good into your life or not by how you feel after you leave them. A lot of our friends we grew up with, so we just chalk it up to like we've known them our whole life, so like they deserve to stay in our life because we've known them that long. But thinking about meeting this person now today, would this be someone that you would be friends with? Or is this someone that's just in your life because you think about how long of time you guys were friends? If we met today, would we still be friends? The reason that's the second question to ask yourself is because a lot of friendships start off, you know, in childhood and you've known them for so long. So you just chalk it up to like, well, we've known each other for so long, so like we should be friends because we've been friends. Do you feel safe around them? Like, do you feel like you can tell them anything? Do you feel like they're trustworthy? Something else to ask yourself. Is the friendship mutual, or do I give a lot more than I get in return? It goes back to like at the end of the day, friendships will always be transactional. They have to be bringing and adding value into your life, and that's transactional. And if you're not feeling happy and you're not leaving, you know, if you're leaving sad or down, then that's not a good friendship. When I succeed, do they actually want the best for me? Very, very valid thing to think about, okay? Because if they do not want the best for you, they will be putting out the worst vibes and they will be bringing you down and you won't even realize. Am I growing in this friendship, or am I actually shrinking to maintain this friendship? Like, am I having to like down my wins, or like, do I have to like be negative and like bring like everything down in order to like not celebrate my wins because this person would get upset, or like not tell them about certain things because I know it would upset them? Like, are they genuinely like happy for you? If this person were to leave tomorrow, would you actually miss them? Like, or are you just hanging out with them because like you feel like it's the thing to do? These are the things you need to ask yourself in your friendships. And yes, these things will tell you whether or not your friendship is real, whether or not it needs to end, and whether or not you're getting what you need out of this friendship. Also, the last thing I wanted to talk about was how to know if somebody's actually ready to be in a relationship with you. And I think we can chalk it up to, if he wants to, he will. If he wants to be with you, you'll know. If you're confused, it's because he doesn't want you. Yes, 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 and yes. But let's get into what they will show you and what they will do in order to let you know that they want a relationship. And for the first time in my life dating my boyfriend now, I feel like he's done all these things to really let me know that like he wants this relationship. Top 5 signs that they actually want to be in a relationship with you. And I feel like I've overlooked these things in the past, and my boyfriend now has shown me all these things. So I want to help anyone who's confused or doesn't know, you know, I don't know what's going on. Truthfully, if he wanted to be with you, he would. And if you're confused, it's for a reason, and it's because he doesn't want to be with you. But let me go over the 5 things that you should see in order to know if he wants to be in a relationship with you. They talk about a future with you. They don't say, oh, I'm going to travel here and I'm going here and I'm going, but it's more like future plans. Like, we are going to do this. Like, they actually make time to like include you in it. Like, when they look at their life and the picture of their life, they physically see you in it and they tell you about being in it. If they're talking like long-term plans with you and like wanting to actually create a future together and wanting to do things with you, and not like, oh, I'm traveling to Ibiza this year, or like I'm traveling to Mykonos this year, but it's like they're making future plans for the both of you. That's the difference between somebody wanting to be with you and just being a placeholder for someone and just talking to you when they're bored. And They're not messaging you when it's convenient and like when they have the time, when they're bored, when they want attention from you. But like genuinely like checking up on you daily to see how you are, what's going on, and like they actually care about your day because they care about you. They're not just like, oh, messaging you or hearting your story and it's like, oh my God. No, that means nothing. That's just because they're bored. There's no mixed signals ever. They're going to make their intentions super clear. I want you. I want to be with you. Let's do this. You're never going to be confused. They're going to make it very, very clear. Ask about your day. They want to know about your dreams. They want to know about your boundaries. They're not just trying to like be near you. They're very vocal about telling their friends about you. They want you in the circle. They want you around. They're not like keeping you from your friends and you're like the little secret in the back. You're not a secret. You're not kept in the DMs. You're not a girl of the week. Like, he makes it a point to tell everyone in his life about you because you mean something. So if a guy is doing these 5 things, then you know he wants you. At the end of the day, if somebody wants a relationship with you, you will absolutely know about it and you will not be confused. For the longest time, I thought, oh, like, I don't know. And now being in a relationship with somebody who like made it very clear, it's very simple. It's very black and white. They either want to be with you or they don't. And if you're confused, they don't want you. And it's easier to learn that. The sooner you learn that, the sooner you will find your person. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the X Podcast. I know this episode went all over the place and I was ranting, but I really hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for next week.